Our mateys, hey, we're still on our road trip. Now, we did our visit in Virginia, which we're going to be going back to eventually here. Went to New Jersey, did that. Now we're out in Wisconsin, and it's normally about a 12 to 13 hour drive. It took us almost 17 hours. The Pennsylvania Turnpike was closed down for I don't know how many hours. We had to detour around these country roads. To go 15 miles, I think it took us an hour and a half. And then the lovely state of Ohio, which is usually pretty good, 50% of it was like a construction zone at 50 miles an hour. Then Indiana was fine. Coming up here from Chicago to the Milwaukee area, that's under construction. So I mean, that was a long drive. But we're going to be here a few more days, maybe another week. We did get a chance to go down to Bourbonnais, visit our granddaughter down there who's going to college at Olivet Nazarene University. So we got a chance to see her, which was nice. But then from here, we're thinking we're going to go out to Chadwick's, New York, outside of Utica, and visit Sherry's sisters. Then from there, we'll go back to Virginia. I'll spend a couple days there, get to the boat, and then when I get to the boat, I got a couple of projects I want to do before we take off. I want to put my anchor roller on, which I don't have, a battery monitor, diesel heater, a couple other little things. And I've been laying out this whole sailing course from Rock Hall down to, like I said, as far as I get. I'm thinking I'm going to get at least partway down South Carolina before we come back up. But I'm doing some research on things, and I'm beginning to wonder if I'm not overthinking this. And I think a lot of people, maybe some people, overthink this. Now, I know from experience, like when we used to cruise on our Bayliner 4087 from Baltimore up to the Thousand Islands, we did that every year for about 6 or 7 years. The first time we did it, oh man, I was studying this and that, and getting this and reading this publication and that. It was really a pretty easy cruise. Now, I don't take any cruise for granted, even like from Rock Hall to Baltimore. You know, you don't know what's going to happen, so be prepared. But on the Hudson River and the Erie Canal, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was. And I'm starting to think maybe it's the same thing with this cruise south. Now, I've been to Norfolk several times in that area, so the hardest part of this has been crossing the Potomac. But then once you get by that, yeah, it's a little rough here and there. But I'm thinking that when we get into the ICW itself, now it's not, from what I understand at least, maybe it's not as well marked as the Erie Canal, although the Erie Canal is also made up of the canals, the rivers, the lakes. There's a lot of locks on the Erie Canal, 30-some locks. I know there's not that many on the ICW South, but we have more bridges that we need to be concerned with because of the mast. So that's going to be an issue. But you know, I see on Facebook and different things, people are buying this book and they're buying that book and they're researching this, and which is good. The problem I have with some of these books are, by the time they're published, they're out of date before they're even published. Now, some of the information is still relevant, but what I have found is there's a lot of good free information on the internet. Here's an example, the bridge clearance in list. I'll put the link in the bottom here so that you can click this on. It's a free download or free information on the bridges. what the height is, and the canal, and when they're open, and what's going on with that. The other thing is searching marinas, because I'm more of a marina hopper than an anchor out guy. I mean, I probably will anchor out a little bit, but I just go to Google Maps, put in marinas, let's say Solomon's Island. Okay, well, all the marinas come up. I see which one I want to do. I click them on. I go to their website. I've got real-time, up-to-date information. The other thing that I have found, and I think is a really good resource, and I've been watching this, is the Cruising Sailing, the ICW Facebook page. There's been a lot of good information up there, and I think that's going to be very relevant. And I do use Active Captain a little bit, and of course for my chart plotting I'm using NV charts, and they have marinas listed along the way there too. So I still believe in having the paper charts on board, and I've got a little bit of redundancy going here with the chart plotter and my tablet with NV chart app loaded on it. So I've got two of those things going, which I think is pretty good. And I think you have to be prepared for things not going right. Oh, the other thing on the NV charts, on the charts, they have a little arrow thing with a red, green, and another dot in the middle there that kind of show you what direction you're going on if the buoys are red right returning, because when you get to some of these little rivers and creeks, and it was like this on the Erie Canal too, which one was returning to port. So these little arrows help identify that. Now, of course, you got to be reasonable, I think, and look, see what's going on. You see a green buoy on your right-hand side that's almost on the shore, and a red buoy on your port side that's almost on the shore. Well, I think it's pretty evident where you're going to go. You're going to go between those two. And again, same thing with the Erie Canal. You got to learn to read around the bends. Where's the deep water? Is it close to the inside? Is it on the outside? So I've found that most of the time the deeper water is on the outside, where it's cutting away, and then on the inside it's kind of shelling up. Now, we did that a number of years, so we got to know where trouble spots are. And there are thousands of people who cruise the ICW every year. So they know where some of the bad spots are, and by keeping track of on the Facebook page and Active Captain or whatever you're doing, friends going down, you got a little bit more information so you can work with that. So after thinking about it, I thought, I'm just way overthinking this thing. I'm going to take my time. I am doing the planning. I do have the resources printed out. I even printed some of this stuff out. I've got it on the tablet. I've got it on the computer. So I have some redundancy going here, just in case something goes bad. And I think we're going to be okay. I mean, if all these people can do it, I think I can do it. And Sherry, when she comes with me on the ICW, she's used to that type of work. I mean, gosh, on the Erie Canal, she was on the gunwale wall handling the lines on all, 30-some locks. So she's pretty familiar with dealing with that. The bridges are going to be something else that I gotta learn about. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because first of all, I'm really taking my time, stopping at places to explore the town, talk with the local folks, visit the museums, the sites. There's a lot of history down through there. Swamp Fox, we're going to look up some of those places. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So that's kind of my recap of what we're doing on the road trip here, how it's going so far. I'm getting excited to get back to the boat and start doing a few things. I know this week for everybody on the Chesapeake and in that area, the winds have been rough from what I've seen, and I hope everybody is staying safe, being smart about it, staying put if it's really too rough, finding a safe anchorage or a marina. But anyway, until next time, guys, happy and safe boating to you, your family, and friends.